Welcome to our RainHeart Wisdom Show, Eugenia. So glad you're here with us today. And I am excited to learn about flower essences from you. I've been looking forward to this session for a while now. So thank you for being here.
Thank you, Rain. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to talk about flower essences. This is one of my most favorite topics. So I'm excited about this.
Awesome. So for those of you who are watching and listening, Eugenia has recently, taken more time to learn how to do this for yourself and prepare. And also we'll be starting a practice around this. Towards the end, we'll talk a bit about some of the offerings you'll be offering for those of you who are listening and watching. So Eugenia, I just want to start off with, can you tell, the audience, what is flower essences?
In the natural world, every plant that grows has its own unique and beautiful vibrational signature. And flower essences is a way of recording that vibration and infusing it into spring water using the energy of the sunshine. So that energy and that vibration can be taken in. So when we take the flower essences, we get infused with that positive virtue of the plant, and it flushes out the negativity that's the opposite of the particular virtue that the plant brings. I should say that the flower essences, it's not the same as essential oils. Sometimes people get confused, and essential oils are also wonderful in their own way, but it's just a completely different healing modality. Flower essences don't smell. They don't have any plant matter. They just have the energy, the vibration of the flower. They are life force, if you will.
Very nice. So I know you mentioned, taking in energy of the flower, right? Could you give some example, maybe so that the audience can get an idea? Let's say if, what kind of flower gives what kind of energy?
Lots of examples. Just so I talk about what I'm taking right now, flower essence. There are two. One of them is honeysuckle. So it's one of the Bach Flower Essences. And honeysuckle is to help you dealing with the past. If you keep going over things in the past, if they bring you out of the present and you dwell on things that are gone and don't exist anymore other than in your memory, and they disturb your peace, that's the remedy. So I should explain more about what the essences do. Is they don't directly target physical illness, even though we call them as an energy medicine. They address physical illness, but indirectly. I strongly believe, and the creator of the essences, Dr. Edward Bach, believed that the root cause of most illnesses is emotional imbalance, and flower essences are targeting that, the emotional issues that we are having, things that take us out of peace and joy and out of the present moment. And there is a flower essence for practically any state that will take you out of peace and joy. Essences for worry, for fear, for hopelessness, for lack of confidence. Essences that bring you into the present. Essences that help with self-esteem, that give you more energy if you're lacking, making you more content and peaceful if you're too agitated. For impatience, the list goes on and on. Maybe I should explain a little bit about the creation of them very briefly. The idea of using the plants for healing, and they are specifically the energy, it's been around for centuries. It seems like it's in the human nature to take flowers, put them in the water, and bathe in it, right? Or look at Instagram accounts. People just intuitively do that, often not realizing that that's what they're doing. They are infusing the water with the essence of those rose petals, for example. And for centuries, through the different cultures, there was a practice, healing practice of collecting dew, morning dew from flowers, and using that for healing. So that existed for centuries, but Dr. Bach created a modern technique for producing essences that's more practical for everyday life, as opposed to go into the mountains and looking for the flower dew. So that technique was developed in 1930s. Dr. Bach was a physician. He was a doctor in England who became unsatisfied with the way the official medicine was treating the disease and not the person, and not the whole person, but just the organ. So he developed this holistic approach to healing that addresses the root cause of the illness. And so he had developed a line of 38 essences based on the plants that were growing basically around him in the English countryside. And he called this system complete. He said it addresses every negative state that a human being can experience. I would say it could be a complete system, but of course, human creativity is unstoppable. And once the technique became known, people started making essences with just every beautiful flower they could see, and finding benefits and unique qualities and very specific attributes in those essences from all over the world. So we still have the 38, and they are very beneficial, and you could enjoy them and get the benefit from them, and just them, but there is way more. I'm talking mostly about 38 because they are the most accessible. They're most time tested too, and you can buy them in most health food stores. But the other essences are also available online, mostly from other producers.
Awesome, thank you. Yeah, I myself have taken some Bach essences, and so you mentioned about flower essences and some of the benefits. Are there any other benefits that we have missed out just to checked in that we may overlook? I'm not sure. I was just curious.
No, it's just the emotional cognitive issues. They're not usually used to treat a specific symptom. Although there are a few essences that have a relaxing influence, so they could be added to massage oils, and they will help with relaxing muscles, which is more of a physical. But still, it goes through, as your nervous system gets relaxed, the muscles will follow. It's kind of the opposite direction from how most modern ointments work. They target this specific tissue without going from the inside.
Right. Yeah. And so what inspired you to, decided to be a practitioner for this?
Well, it started with me getting ill. It was quite sudden. I ended up at the hospital for 2 weeks, and I had a pretty serious surgery. And as I was recovering back at home, I started to questioning. I was thinking, if I got that seriously ill, is there a lesson? Is there a message from this? Do I need to bring radical changes into my life? And trying to answer those questions, one of the things I did, I booked a session for Akashic Records reading. And this idea of turning to flower essences came from that. And I wasn't even asking about how can I help with my physical healing. I was asking, what can I do with my life that's more in line with my purpose and values? That information was downloaded. And at that time, I had heard of them, but I had the very slight idea of what they even were. So obviously, naturally, I started learning, and it was like a breath of fresh air. It became so obvious so quickly that this is what I want to be doing seriously. I started reading, I started taking courses, and of course I started using them and experimenting on myself. And the benefits I got pretty quickly were very inspiring. So I'm a great believer, and I have felt knowledge that they really work.
That's amazing. I think that's when you kind of right? That's just the inner knowing. It's really powerful. So what are so some of the audience might not have experienced flower essence before, and if you could just briefly share with them, how do one use flower essences?
Sure. They well, you can make them yourself, but you can certainly buy them as well. As I mentioned, Bach Flower Essences are readily available from most health food stores. I like to buy them online at healthyplanetcanada.com, I think is the address. I find that's the best price. Once you, I have one here, which is Rescue Remedy, which is a mix of 5 Bach flower essences. That's a very powerful stress release and remedy for times of shock and in various kinds of emergencies. So how you use them is you can take the drops directly from it's called the concentration, it's called stock concentration. So you can take that directly. Most essences just 2 drops, and for Rescue Remedy it's 4. What's important to understand is to get more of the effect, you don't need to take more of it, you need to take it more often. So it's important to take those drops at least 4 times a day. More is better. So it's just to maintain that vibration in your system. Like put in more, it makes no difference because it's the same vibration. Because they don't have the same biochemical effect as most drugs. When you take more, you have more of the effect. Energy doesn't work like that. It's same energy whether you drink the whole bottle or take 2 drops. But taking it more often is helpful. So one way is to just take directly from the bottle. The other way is to put the drops in the water two drops in a glass of water, and throughout the day, sip from that, making sure you space it out throughout the day. Important to take some first thing in the morning and some just before you go to bed in those twilight states. So that's another way of taking them. And the third way is to make a treatment bottle or dosage bottle, which I can show you how to make today as part of the demonstration that we are planning. You basically take 2 drops in a separate bottle with the spring water. You add one remedy, just 2 drops of one remedy, or up to 6 or 7 remedies. You can create your own personalized mix. And from the treatment bottle, you take 4 drops 4 times a day or more. You cannot overdose, but you won't necessarily get more effect by drinking more. But more often, sometimes I'm drawn, if there's acute feelings that I am experiencing, I am drawn to keep taking them. Some people say, I've been trying to take my vitamins all my life and I always forget. And this thing, I can't forget. I keep going back to it. So the body knows. And also when I've been taking something for a while, and then I sometimes notice that I forgot to take it. And I start noticing that I'm forgetting, and I'm thinking, okay, it's time to change it around and take a break. That's also the body wisdom.
Yeah, so it sounds like it's very much about your own body intuitive knowing. Yeah, so to take it. So, because my next question was gonna, I'm thinking maybe some of the audience might be thinking, oh, so how long do I take this? Right? Do I take this for long term, short term? But I know you've addressed it. So it's really very intuitive. Trusting your body, knowing like, oh, now I'm going through this. This is what I'm feeling. This is what I would like. I'm going to take this now, and then. It feels like, okay, I don't need it now. And then, or maybe I need something else. So it's really very intuitive way.
Yes, quite often you start feeling the effect after 3 or 4 days. If it's something really acute, like you just witnessed a car accident or something, you take the rescue remedy, it will help right away. But if we are trying to address something like grief, it will take a few days to start noticing anything. And quite often you take it for a couple of weeks for it to run its course. It depends. It depends on what you're addressing and what you're taking. But it's not something you have to keep taking all the time for it to get the benefit. There were a few things that I had issues with, and the remedies helped me a lot, and I don't need to go back to that. The body kind of remembers the healthy patterns, and it becomes second nature. So in that way, it has a lasting effect.
That's awesome. And I love that, like you said, this is energy medicine. It's not like the medicine, the drugs where you can't overtake because, it does something, whereas this is just energy, right? So that's the beauty of it.
And that makes them very safe.
Yeah.
They can be given to anyone, regardless of what other healing regime they're going through. There's no interaction with other medications. Other than the preservative sometimes, so we usually use grape alcohol as the preservative. So in the rare instances, when people have issues with taking, even though it's very small dosage, but there is some alcohol. But other than that, they are given to babies, and actually pets and even household plants respond very well to flower essences. which to me is another proof that of their effectiveness, that it's not just placebo effect, because your dog won't like have it in their mind, oh, that should help me to be less aggressive with other dogs or something like that. Yes, they're very safe for everyone.
That's awesome. And I know we're getting to the exciting part, because part of the reason I really wanted this session is to learn how do you prepare, flower essences. And I know today you have a demonstration for us. So, take it away. Show us, how does one actually prepare flower essences?
Sure. I like to think of it as a little bit of magic and a little bit of a spiritual practice, because you are, speaking with the plants, and you are taking a bit of their soul. And I like to feel that respect and gratitude for the plants. So that's kind of the intent that you need to keep in mind as doing it. But what you do is you pick your flower, and it helps to just sometimes go in the meadow where wildflowers grow, and to walk around and to see what you see. And sometimes the essence chooses you. You're drawn to the plant. Or like if you know specifically that certain essence you read on the website will be good for you, and you find that plant, it helps to sit with it and watch it and kind of have its energy. It's not necessary, but that's the part I think is important to make this experience more meaningful for yourself. Sometimes people make a little sketch of the plant, or just take photographs. That's cool too. So it's best to collect flowers from which you're going to make the essence in the morning, as early as possible. And it's important to pick a sunny day, because the big part of making the essence is putting the flowers in water and leaving it in the sun for 3 hours. And the most proper method from Dr. Bach is that there needs to be uninterrupted sunshine. Many producers now feel that if a few clouds pass during the time, it's okay. But that's just your intuition. How much, unless you're making them commercially, that doesn't matter, as long as they've been in the sunshine for long enough. So you go in the morning, you pick your plant, and you collect the flowers, putting them in a bowl like I have here now. So this is my demonstration of, so this is spring water, and I have collected flowers of wild geranium from my own garden. So it's important not to touch the flowers with your hands as you're picking them, because you don't want to give them your own energy. You want the plant's energy pure. So you could use tweezers if they're very small, or just pick a maple leaf or something like that and use that as a glove. And you leave them in the water for 3 hours in the sunshine. Clear glass bowl without, markings or something like that is best. Let me think if I am missing something, and before you start picking them, to to ask permission of the plant. Would it be okay if I collect it and just listen to your heart? And I like to, well, it's hard to trust yourself sometimes, but like if I don't feel the strong no, it means it's a yes. That's kind of how I gauge it. And so once the flowers have been soaked in there, the water will be a little warm. It's very, very nice. And then you can start making the essence right away. And so what we first, the first thing we are making, it's called mother tincture. So you take a clean 30 milliliter bottle with a dropper. So you see there's a pipette there. This is the preservative. This is the brandy that I use, but the other sources could be vegetable glycerin, or sometimes people use the vinegar.
Is there a preference? Would it make a difference?
If you're okay with a little bit of alcohol and you know how much diluted it gets, then grape alcohol is what Dr. Bach recommended. And brandy is grape alcohol. So for the making of the mother tincture, you fill your clean bottle. Oops. It's probably a little too much, but that's it should be filled at least halfway, or between half and 3/4. I'm
So
gonna
3/4 of, or halfway to 3/4 of it.
That's right, of the alcohol. And then you take your the water from your bowl, and you basically fill in the rest of the bottle with the essence. Just try not to get any bits of the plant. There's nothing floating here, but sometimes they could be something. So just go for the and so my bottle is almost full. And this is what we call mother tincture. This is the homeopathic technique of mixing it and energizing it. Tapping like that, that's what my teacher told me to do. And it's recommended to label it with the plant that you're using. So now I would write wild geranium 2020 mother, because you're going to be making another bottle out of this for the stock essence that you will actually be using. So this mother tincture, you don't take it, you use it to make babies from the mother.
Okay.
So you bring the second bottle, which will be a stock essence, and this one you fill all the way with the brandy. Just leave a little bit of space, because when you put the dropper, the level goes up and you don't want it to overflow. It's just a practical, based on past mistakes.
Thanks for sharing that.
That's right. And you take from the mother tincture that you just made, you just take 2 to 4 drops. You see how diluted it is? It doesn't take a lot, so you have added a little bit, and then you took only 2 drops from this. So this is the stock essence. This is the concentration you would get if you bought it at store.
Got it.
So this is you don't usually buy mother essences. Practitioners or producers, they make that first, and they keep it, so they keep producing this, which then they sell. That's basically you have an essence that you're ready to use. And as I said, you can start taking this directly. I sometimes just do that, 2 drops, and that's my dose. Just make sure you don't touch the pipette as you're doing it. Or the most economical way is to make a dosage bottle out of this. The benefit of that is that you can mix many essences, up to 6, in the dosage. So for that, you have just the spring water.
Okay.
In another bottle like this, you have just the spring water, and you add 2 drops of each essence. And from that, you take 4 drops 4 times a day.
Got it.
And you can take it directly. You can put it in any drink, in your tea, coffee, soup, anything that you will then consume. That's it.
That's really amazing and simple, so simple. Yeah,
it is. Yeah.
It is so simple. And what beauty, nature has given us all these gifts, right? And then we're not really embracing all these gifts we've been given. I just want to reiterate, and maybe you could, just so that those who are listening as well, what is needed to do it, and also, what would you advise? Because some people have no experience, right? Would you advise them to start doing this, or take the product first, right? What are your thoughts about that?
You mean how to choose the essences for yourself? Or which ones to take?
Can anyone just start doing this, or you think it is better for them to experience the flower essence first, buy some, get used? What are your advice?
Well, I would recommend buy an essence that's already been produced and start taking it as the first step. As you build your confidence in the concept, right? Because it does sound kind of hard to believe. I'm not going to be anxious if I take this water drops? And then the best way to overcome that healthy skepticism is to see for yourself. And then if you get the benefit and if you're inspired, by all means, it's a lot of fun to make essences with things that you see growing around you. One other thing is it's important to pick plants that grow as far from the civilization as possible, so they're in their clean, pristine state. so away from car fumes and things like that. I was in Costa Rica. I was taking a course there on flower essences. And of course, it's heaven because there's so much in bloom and all this sunshine. So that was a perfect place to do it. And the inspiration comes from the place. But here we can only make our essences for a few months a year, frankly, because, well, not just the sunshine, you need the flowers, freshly picked too. So most of the time we will end up buying them. So making your own will be just a fun supplement to that. So if you are trying to just get acquainted with the essences, I would recommend going to the website of the Bach Center, which is bachcenter.com. It has a description of each individual remedy and its positive benefits. With the quote from the description that Dr. Bach gave it himself. So that's very helpful resource. And you can choose a remedy to start with right away from there. There's also another website called bachremedies.com, which is the site of the official manufacturer of the Bach remedies. And the additional resource there is they have an essence chooser, which is kind of asks you questions and directs you to recommended essences that way. You can try that. It didn't quite work for me, but it's there. And if somebody wants to explore beyond the 38 remedies from the Bach essences, the next good resource is the site of the Flower Essence Society. It's an American society that's they use the Bach essences, but they have also developed a big line of additional North American wildflowers that they make produce using very organic, thoughtful methods. So the website is fesflowers.com that lists their remedies as well.
Got it. Thank you. So I know before we came on the show, you also mentioned that you're offering free consultation right now too. So if you'd like to speak a bit about that for the audience who are listening.
It can be easily done on Zoom, on the phone, and on a consultation. We would talk about what's bothering you and what kind of emotional issues and difficulties, cognitive, emotional, you're experiencing. And I'll be able to recommend the essences that would be suitable for that. It could be just one, or it could be a mix. Many producers recommend to actually take just one. And so the volume will be most loud and clear in your body, the message of the plant. But the traditional Bach method, he specifically recommended personalized, mixed up to 6 essences. So I could offer those, the selection of up to 6, depending on the needs. And I can make a dosage bottle using Bach Flower Essences. I don't have many others, a few that I made myself and those that I brought from Costa Rica, but that's optional. But I have all the 38 Bach Flower Essences, so I can make a personalized bottle and mail it to people. So that's what I am offering right now.
Awesome. Thank you. And so how can they reach out to you? What's the best way to communicate with you?
I'm working on my website. It's going to be called flowervibrations.com. It's not up and running, but should be shortly. And people can find me on Facebook or email address eugenia.bilokin@gmail.com.
All right. And then we'll make sure that it's shown so that they get your name correctly and so that they can reach out to you. Yeah. Sure. Once again, thank you so much for being on the show. Like I said, I've been wanting to see what this is like, the process is like, because I'm interested to do it for myself as well. I've taken some Bach essences and I have the rescue remedy here at home too. So thank you. Thank you for sharing with us, what you've gained from this experience for yourself and the power and beauty of flower essences and how amazing they are, and how they heal us, right? And just again, back to nature. It's just, nature is just amazing. So thank you for being on the show with us.
My pleasure, Rain. I'm so happy that you gave me this opportunity and grateful for that. I feel that it's important for me to do what I can to make this gift from nature accessible and attractive to as many people as possible, because God knows we can all benefit from having more inner peace and contentment and joy in our hearts. And the world makes it harder right now. But I must say, with the help of this beautiful flowers, I've been doing okay, even during this time. I had difficult moments, and after feeling it, I start thinking of what can I take, and it was great to have this additional resource for helping you deal with the world as it comes in.
Awesome. Thank you again. Thank you for sharing this with the world. It is much needed right now. So once again, thank you for being on the show. And for those of you who haven't seen my show and other videos, please click onto the other videos. Please subscribe and like. And we would love to hear from you. Please comment too. Okay, I'm sure Eugenia would love to hear from you too, how Absolutely. This video was for you. So once again, thank you and goodbye. Bye.
Bye. Thank you for listening.